Now, our speaker today is really not a stranger to any of us. He is a multi-passionate speaker, facilitator, transpersonal coach, and a spiritual companion. His work has been greatly impacted by his own growth journey, navigating through and out of fundamentalist religion in childhood and early adulthood as a gay and gender nonconforming person. He served in the military for more than 20 years, both during the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy era and after its repeal. Now, though he first started attending the chapel year in 2017, I remember the day he walked in that door. He became a member of the chapel in January of 2018, and he has continuously supported the chapel ever since he first entered our doors. Before he retired from the military, he even joined us one Sunday on Zoom from Kuwait. He has served as a past president, board president, and he currently serves as a Novitiate Minister, and he's doing an awesome job as our newsletter editor. Great job. In his teaching and private coaching practice, he works with core gift discovery, human design, Akashic Records, awesome, and other modalities to help people remember more of who they are so that they can bring their fullest expression to the world in ways that create expansive space for others to do the same. Now, I've served on the podium with Stanley a few times in the past. But today, I gotta tell you, I'm doing it with greater pleasure than usual, because when I would introduce him in the past, I had to refrain myself every time from giving him this title, because that's always how I saw him. But today I can finally say to you, I give you today's speaker, Reverend Stanley Maszczak. I've always wanted to call him Reverend. Reverend Maszczak.
Thank you, Reverend. Okay. It's beautiful to be here with you today in person. And a little bit of what Reverend Betty read in the intro is what I want to talk about today, of helping people remember who they are. We're in a big phase right now of what I understand to be, I'm starting to call it the Great Remembering, where whenever we start to awaken to our innate gifts and abilities and connection with Source, I know for me, it usually feels like I'm remembering something that I forgot. Like when you receive a message from a message bearer here in the chapel, or you have a serendipitous conversation with somebody, it might feel like you're learning something new, but oftentimes if you dig a little deeper, it's like I feel like I already knew that. Some part of me already knew, and there's this remembering that's happening. For me, that's the work that we're in right now, is helping each of us remember more and more of who we are at soul level and what we came here to do before we incarnated in this lifetime. So today we're talking a little bit about newness and also about remembering and the intersection there between remembering and newness. If I'm remembering, is it really new? And if something feels new, can I be remembering? I think we can do both of those things at the same time. So today's December 1st. We have the newness of the month of December. We're inching our way toward the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. We also had a new moon in Sagittarius this morning. And in human design, the new moon is intersecting with the gate 9. So the sun and the moon were both highlighting the gate 9 in human design this morning at the new moon, which in traditional human design is called the gate of focus. And in quantum human design, it's called the gate of convergence. Thinking about focus and convergence. And the sun started highlighting that gate of focus back on Wednesday. And that's right when I started to feel that too. I had a lot of stuff coming into clearer focus starting on Wednesday this week. I don't know if any of you had that experience. But this ability of seeing, I said, nope, opposite. We're going to talk about the opposite too, don't worry. So this ability to see, this focus and this convergence is about the ability to see the bigger picture, to see that bird's eye view and also have a clarity of the details that are requiring action, that are asking for action. So it's that ability to focus out and see the big picture and the ability to focus in on the details without getting confused and muddled up on all the details. So we have that new moon energy, that calling to align kind of our inner actions and inner intentions around what we are trying to create and be about right now. Kind of partnering with that idea of focus. And then we have that idea of big picture and small picture. So if y'all heard the expression, right, you don't want to miss the forest for the trees, right? So you have that ability to say, I'm so hyper focused on all these details that I'm kind of missing the bigger picture. And you can get hemmed up that way. And there's oftentimes we can get hemmed up the other way too, where we're so focused on the big picture that I see everything that could possibly happen and go on, and I don't know like where to start. Where do I zoom in and start taking action? So you can be focused on details to the detriment of your forward motion. You can't see that bigger picture and you kind of go off on a rabbit trail, or you can be focused on the big picture to the detriment of your ability to choose, because there can be an overwhelm there behind choosing the right way to go or choosing the next best path. So either way, we have that kind of shadow aspect of getting kind of stuck in one side or the other. But the light side, the blessing side of that is the ability to just take that step back and see the big picture and the details together. And to have that alignment of vision and purpose and understand I can see exactly where I'm going, or enough of where I'm going to be able to move into to the details, and then to also see those details and know exactly what's calling for your attention next. Has anybody ever had a big vision and they weren't sure how they were going to do it, how they were going to achieve it, right? So you've got that big vision coming in. So what do you do to follow it? Well, I could go here or I could go here, and both might take you in a different direction. So we've had a little bit of extra energy to support us there this week. So those questions come up. Where do I exactly begin when I'm in that big picture phase? How do I begin? I have this huge vision, but where do I zoom in first? All of this is contained within that gate 9 that I was talking about. And when we're operating in the aligned flow of it, we can tap into that unlimited creative potential and energy to do both of those things in an aligned way, whether within ourselves. Some of us have the energetic makeup to be able to do a lot of that inside ourselves and in our own arm's reach. But most of the time, it's in partnership with the people around us. Because I don't think very many of us came into this lifetime to sit on a meditation pillow for 20 hours a day and sleep 4 hours a day and then go back to meditating, right? Some people might appreciate that or want to do that. Maybe if you're called to being a monk of some service of that kind. But for most of us, we're here to be in community and to impact the world through our relationships with other people. So being in awe and wonder of that full big picture and being able to see it in connection with the people around us. So some of us have different pieces of this creative process. We have the piece that kind of receives the vision. Some of us receive those visions in different ways. We might hear it or see it or feel it or experience it in some way. We might have more of a connection in our dreams to those big visions. And then we start to be able to receive and articulate that and move toward it in whatever way we're wired to do that. Some of us have the energy of starting things, of getting things going, getting the ball rolling. Some of us have the energy of kind of picking up the baton and then running with it to the finish line or in some leg of that journey. And as much as pop leadership culture wants us to think that we're all supposed to have all of that, sometimes we don't. Some people are meant to be starters and not finishers. And some people are meant to be finishers and not starters. The key is finding out what I am so I know who I'm looking for to partner with as I'm creating this vision. Some of us have more of that energy than others in different places, but it's about unearthing that inside of me and being fully confident and knowing that I may not have that finishing energy, but I got that starting energy. I can get the ball rolling. And so I need to find the people around me who have that finishing energy and they can pick up where I started it. And I don't have to judge myself for not finishing everything I start. Because sometimes I'm meant to start something and somebody else is meant to finish it. Other people have purposes around us, and our purposes go together to create this beautiful vision of humanity we're creating together. Just like that song said, can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together, we can change the world. Yeah. Right? So some of us have that starting energy, some of us have that completing energy, Some of us have the energy of reflecting things back to other people so they can hear it and see it in different ways. They serve as kind of those karmic mirrors in other people's lives. So when people look at these folks, they oftentimes see all the things about themselves that they want to see or need to see. And then they can end up projecting that back onto that person, which is why we have communication issues, right? Some people are here to reflect that back to us, so we have the feedback we need to make the changes Source is asking us to make, or our souls are asking us to make. And some of us have very different work cycles than other people. All the stuff I'm laying out is part of human design modality, but I think it has really much more broad applications too. But some of us have that kind of nonstop access to energy, and they can go 12 hours a day, get a little bit of sleep, and they're just fine. As long as they're doing the thing they're passionate about, they have unlimited energy. And people look at them and they go, "Oh, I wish I could be like that." But what if you weren't wired to be like that?
Exactly.
We are not all wired the same. Some people need to work for 5 hours and then take a nap. And that's okay. So if you've never thought of that before, let this be the permission you might think you need.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's why this work that we do in the chapel is so important, because we're not here to preach and teach a dogma and tell you what we're all supposed to be like, and because we're too different. We're different socially in this lives we're living in 3D, and we're different spiritually and energetically. So we need spaces like this where we can encourage each other to find our own spaces, where we can reflect back to each other positive things that we see and ways that we can help each other find their path, as opposed to telling them, "I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should do it like that. Why are you doing that?" You're saying that because that's not for you, but that doesn't mean it's not for them. So when I'm seeing these people around me step up and share their gifts, am I encouraging them? We can all encourage. You don't have to be wired for encouragement. I think we're all wired for encouragement. We can all encourage the people around us, but that's a choice, right? So cultivating the space at the chapel and every other place where we can, where people are invited to bring their full selves to the table and be all of their brilliance without judgment and negative reaction, so that each of us has the opportunity to live out our full divine expression, live out all of the things that we intended before we incarnated in this lifetime, so we can fully remember why we came here and what we came here to do and how we came here to do it. Because as much as I try to do it like everybody else, or do it like other people, or do it how my pastor taught me when I was a kid, or how my parents taught me to do this way, and how my boss taught me at my first job, that might not be for me. I've got to figure that out myself. Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, what are the spaces that you give yourself to think about how you do life, how you do ministry, how you do work? Do you have a reflective practice where you can sit down and journal, or you can talk into your phone and record it and listen to it later? Or you can voice to text and talk and it types it out for you. Some way that you can just get your thoughts out onto paper and just have it in front of you. Some of us need that more than others. Some of us, that sounds ridiculous. I'm never writing in a journal in my life. And that's okay, but find your way. Maybe you got to go to the craft store and craft it out. I don't know. But find your way. That's right. Because your way is the way that is sourced from the divine. We are all from the same source. We are all from the same beginning energy, and we're all unique expressions of that source in our world. And if we don't find that uniqueness, we're going to fall out of alignment with how we came here to create and what we came here to create together. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's all part of the journey. There's no judgment there about that. It's just, how can I support myself in finding that way to making things new for me and having them be something I'm remembering at the same time? You see how they connect?
Yes.
New for me, because I might have been living a different way. But really, if I go deep, it's remembering, oh, that's what I meant 100 years ago before I came here. That's what I was talking about. So the great remembering who we are, who we came here to be, who we came here to be it with. A lot of us here, a good handful of us here, work in past lives and past life regression and things like that. And I've heard lots of stories about that, of how people realize, oh, this person in my life, that used to be my mom in a past life, or this is the energy we're working out together. They're my friend now, but now we got to work this out in a different way. Oh, now I understand why I'm so triggered around this person. So we had some stuff we're still working out. And if that was a supportive idea that gave you the capacity to step back and not be so emotionally negatively charged and attached by it, what would that do for you? What if it was just a new relationship in a new way, somebody you've known for a long time? Anybody ever met somebody you felt like you just met him, but you knew him your whole life?
Yes.
Yes, you probably have. You probably did. Anybody ever met somebody and they just rub you the wrong way and you're like, I do not like that person and I don't know why?
I can't.
Got some stuff to work out, maybe, or maybe you just need to find other people, right? You got to figure it out for yourself. What is your body telling you? What is your soul telling you? How can I share love and not hang out with them if it doesn't make me feel loving, right? We all got to sort that stuff out,
Yes.
right? And none of it has to be hard. None of it has to create unnecessary suffering. None of it has to be super painful. I think some of it will be hard and painful at times because of the nature of human existence and our humanity and how we have to work things out and how we are wired neurologically and otherwise to navigate change. Some of it feels hard. It feels painful. And there is always healing available as well. Am I choosing love? Am I choosing healing in that remembering process? When I'm remembering the things that are harder to remember and navigate, am I still choosing to infuse that experience with love and appreciation and connection with the source? Because I think that a lot of the things that we experience pain about in this lifetime are because we've forgotten who we are. And when I say I've forgotten who I am, sometimes it means I've forgotten who the people are around me as well. Because if we're all part of the same source, you're all parts of me, I'm all parts of you. We're all reflecting different things back to each other. And if I forget that source nature, that love nature of who all of us are, I might see things a little bit more friction-y than I need to. There's a lot of us versus them in society right now. A lot of factions and splintering and debates, and I can't talk to you because you said this and you did this and you voted for this person and I can't have that. I think there's something to be said for emotional and mental safety. And is there an opportunity for me to step back and infuse that entire situation with love and affirming that we all came here with good intentions? And some of us got tripped up along the way in different ways than others of us did. Does that create a more expansive space in my own heart for how I see other people? And by reflection, how I see myself or how I see those parts of myself that I try to keep in shadow to avoid. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So consider this week, what am I remembering? In our message service later today, consider asking, what is Source trying to remind me about? What are my spirit guides trying to remind me? What is my soul wanting me to remember about myself today, December 1st, 2024? For this week, as we inch toward that longest night of the year, what am I needing to remember for my own progression as I walk this earth, for my own family's growth, soul growth, and expansion in love and relationship? And as I remember this, if I encounter something that is unpleasant, how can I remember that bigger part of myself that sees that big picture enough to know exactly how to zoom in on that piece, completely surrounding it with love and appreciation and giving it the attention that it needs so that as that pain surfaces, it's healed by that surrounding with love, gets the attention it requires and can just be released instead of feeling like it has to come back over and over and over again to get whatever attention it's asking for right now. What can I remember about who I am this week? What can I remember about who we are this week? I'll leave that with you.